Hi everybody, I'm Scott Gaulden. I'm the owner of Simmons Floorcovering and Total Renovations. And with me today is James Stopar. James recently joined our organization and he has over 20 years of experience in the restoration field, has a lot of experience in dealing with adjusters and handling claims, and we're excited to have him as part of our team. And I thought we would use him as a good resource today to help answer some of the questions that you may have regarding your insurance claim. So James, let's start with just kind of the role of the homeowner. What is the responsibility of the homeowner in getting a claim started? What are they supposed to be doing?
Well, in the event of, let's just, as an example, a water loss,
Right.
their responsibility would be, one, to try and help not have that, explode on them, try and get some towels or whatever they need be to try and mitigate the amount of damage to their home. And then it would be, part two of that would be to contact their insurance carrier and get claim number and get their claim started.
Okay, all right. So if you're standing in water right now, you need to call a mitigation company and try to prevent any additional loss from happening.
Yeah, anything
correct?
that you can do to stop the spread.
Okay. And then what would be the responsibilities of the insurance company as part of the claim?
The insurance company would be obligated to take care of any of the damages to the home as a result of where the water source came from or what the cause of the loss was.
Okay, but they typically don't cover what actually caused the loss, right?
No, not typically. In the event that, say, you had an appliance leak, they wouldn't take care of the cost of the appliance or the repair of the appliance, but they would cover anything resulting from that.
Okay.
So anywhere that the water went, if it damaged flooring, drywall, cabinets, things like that, they would handle.
Okay, and what's the standard that we use in the industry to say what the insurance company is responsible for paying for?
They are obligated to bring you back to pre-loss condition. So when you have a loss, they're obligated to bring you back to the day before.
Okay.
So, as like it never happened.
Okay, all right. So and then as a contractor, our job is to help the customer get the information they need to the adjuster in order to make that process happen, right?
Yes, and the term that's used for that is bringing the project back to pre-loss condition.
Okay, great. So a lot of times customers initially have a question about estimates. How, do they need to get estimates? How many estimates are required? What's their role when it comes to estimates?
Well, I actually use the exact same estimating software as the insurance carriers do.
Okay.
So an estimate from me where I'm using the same software, and that software is called Xactimate.
Mm-hmm.
We can supply one estimate and get the entirety of the project resolved and covered through the insurance company with just one simple submission. Anything outside of that we find later down the road can be provided to the insurance carrier through Xactimate in the form of a supplement.
Okay, so this Xactimate program, it actually has current pricing built into it that the insurance company's already agreed to pay.
Yes.
So you don't need to get multiple estimates as long as you have an Xactimate estimate from a reputable contractor. That's all you really need to do to get the claim approved, right?
Yeah, the insurance carrier and myself, using the same software, we actually download a price list at the beginning of every month that tells us what the cost of every single material in a homeowner's home goes for. So if the market has gone up or down by pennies on the dollar or whatever for a 2x4 or something as simple as that, we download that price list every month. So the insurance carrier and I are already on the same page.
Okay.
If there's this many 2x4s that need to be replaced, we're both in agreement. By the time that we count the 2x4s and put those in the estimate, we come up with the same dollar amount.
Fantastic. So I guess the biggest thing is to just let customers know they don't have to go chasing estimates from multiple contractors. And the biggest issue, I think, is you don't have to use a cheap contractor. You can afford, with this, using this system, you can afford a quality, reputable contractor that's willing to do the project for what the insurance company is willing to pay.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So once a claim is approved, what's the process the homeowner should go through in determining who they should use for the project? Because I know in some cases the insurance company might have somebody they recommend, or they may have like a buddy of the family that they're talking to about doing the project. What's the best way to try to figure out who you want to use to fix, make the repairs to your home?
And that's entirely up to the homeowner.
Okay.
The homeowner should make that decision and go with whoever they're comfortable with, and they should base that off of the company's qualifications and experience.
Okay, but there's no requirement that the homeowner go with who the insurance company recommends.
No, absolutely not. That's a case-by-case basis, and different adjusters know different people in different areas, and you never know where those recommendations are coming from.
Right. Okay. And one of the big things that comes up is there's two different values of an insurance claim. There's what they refer to as the RCV and the ACV. Can you explain that? Because people get real confused about those terms. They get kicked around a lot.
So everybody's house is a different age. And so there's an actual cost value, which is the ACV.
Okay.
There's an actual cost value of what the building materials are currently worth at the age that they are. And so the insurance company owes for actual cost value. Now, being that those, well, we'll get into depreciation maybe a little bit later.
Right. We will cover that. Yeah, absolutely.
But essentially, they'll owe for what that stuff is worth. Now, when those materials get brought back to brand new, they're owed for what is considered the recoverable depreciation. Okay. So now the materials being as safe, when the loss happened, the home was 10 years old, they owe for the actual cost value of what those materials are worth at this current time. But when the repairs are made, they're replaced with brand new materials. Mm-hmm. So it brings back that RCV, that recoverable depreciation.
Okay. So typically, I like to tell customers, don't think of depreciation as lost money. That's just held back. It's kind of held back in suspense until you can show the insurance company that you've actually made those expenses, that you've actually made those repairs.
Yes, and an easy way to understand that is that the insurance company insured your home at a value of what it is currently worth.
Right.
Now, if you don't end up performing that work, they're only going to pay for the actual cost value of what currently existed. Right. Now, if you actually make the repairs and you put in brand new materials, you're owed for the recoverable depreciation in those materials.
I see a lot of homeowners lose out on money that they're owed, and they end up with less of a project than what they should have because no one really takes the time to explain those two terms to them in a way that they understand. So, now the second big question that we get all the time is, can I change something, or can I do something differently, or do I have to put this back together exactly the way that it was before the loss?
No, I always like to say that this is the time to do it. If we're already going to be in your house, performing a bunch of construction, tearing things apart, or removing what was damaged as a result of the loss, if we've already got everything opened up, let's go ahead and entertain some ideas for remodeling.
Absolutely. I've had several customers that once the project's over with, they tell me, this came at the worst time. However, I finally recognized that now's my opportunity to make all those changes I wanted to make, and somebody else is paying for most of them,
exactly.
And it gives you a chance to let somebody else cover the cost of the home you've always dreamed of. So Take advantage of this. It really is a better time than you might think. And then the final question always, James, is what's this going to cost me?
Okay, well, from a homeowner's perspective, the only thing that they should actually be responsible for is their deductible,
right?
Essentially. The insurance company is going to cover the remainder of that, the remainder of whatever damages were, caused to the house, and as long as you take care of your deductible, then you've met your obligation. Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to this today, and if you have any additional questions or we can be of any assistance, please feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to be used as a resource for you. We wish you the best of luck as you try to put your home back together. Thanks again.
Go.
You have to say action.
Action.
Okay.